Hello guys, in today's tutorial we are going to explore some important concepts in bash scripting, positional arguments and output redirection. Let's say you have a script that needs to process multiple files and you want to specify these files when you run the script. Instead of hard coding the file names in the script, you can pass them as positional arguments. This makes the script more flexible and reusable. For example, you might want to concatenate the contents of several text files and display the results. Instead of editing the script every time, you can pass the file names as arguments when you run the script. This is where positional arguments come in handy. Let's start by explaining what positional arguments are and how to use them in a bash script. So first, let me write an example script, then I will explain. So in this simple script, we use echo to print the first three positional arguments. These positional arguments are the arguments that are passed to a script when it is executed. They are accessed using these special variables $1, $2, and $3. And if there are more positional arguments, then it will be represented by $4, 5, and up to $n. Here this $1 is the first argument, $2 is the second argument, and so on. Now, if any script contains $0, then that means this $0 contains the name of the script file itself. So now let's run this file. So currently I am this directory tutorial 13, and here I already have created three more files, file 1, file 2, and file 3. And each of these file contains this one single line, that is, this is file 1, then the file 2 contains this is file 2, like this. So now let's run the script. So as you can see here, I just run the script and it is showing nothing, first arguments, and it is nil. So for this, what I have to do is that while executing the script tutorial 13.sh, I have to specify three arguments like file1.txt and then file2.txt and then file3.txt. So now it shows first argument is file1.txt file, then second argument is file2.txt, and the third one is file3.txt. This is how we pass arguments in a script. So what we have to do is that dot slash your script file name, and then the number of arguments you have in that script file, you have to pass them. So this demonstrates how positional arguments are accessed in the script. So this is just an example. Now let's write a script to solve a more practical problem. We will write a script that makes multiple file names as positional arguments like this one, file1.txt, file2.txt, and file3.txt, and display the result. So let's make the script. So in this script, the condition in this if statement is to check if at least one argument is provided. This variable $has holds the number of positional arguments passed to the script. It is a way to count how many arguments have been provided. If this $has is equals to 0, it means no arguments were provided. So the script prints a usage message and exits. This block is very useful because say you are using a script file for the first time and you don't know how many positional arguments it will take. So this usage command will keep you in track that how many positional arguments you have to provide. Next, we have this for loop to iterate over all the provided arguments. This special variable $@ represents all the positional arguments as separate words. For each argument, we check if it is a valid file using this -f command. If it is, we use this cat command to concatenate and display its content. If the file doesn't exist, we print this error message, that is file not found. So now let's run this code and see what happens. So as I told before, I have these three files in this directory, file 1, file 2, and file 3. So I am going to pass this name of these files as the positional arguments of this script tutorial 13.sh. So let's run this. So as you can see, this script prints all the contents from the individual files. Now let's see what happens if I just run this code without positional argument. So it shows a usage message, that is this script file tutorial 13.sh must be passed with at least one file name. You can provide any number of file name up to n. And this script file name is printed through this $0 argument. Now let's try to run this script with an extra argument, that is file4.txt. Now let's see what happens. So for the first three cases, file 1, file 2 and file 3, it prints all the contents on the screen. But for the fourth file that doesn't exist, it shows file not found, file4.txt. So this is how you can use positional arguments in bash scripting. Now let's talk about output redirection. Output redirection allows you to control where your command's output will go. In bash, you can redirect both the standard output and the standard error to different places like files or other commands. This is particularly useful for logging and debugging. So first, let us see how to redirect standard output of a script or command to a file. This is done using this greater than operator. So let's see an example. So now I am going to run this script file /tutorial13.sh with two files, file1.txt and file2.txt. And now I am going to redirect the output of the script file to another log file. And this can be done using this greater than operator. And let's name the file where my output will go, say output.log. So now in this directory, I have one extra file that is output.log. Now let's see its content. So I can cat then output.log. So it contains two lines. This is file 1 and this is file 2. So this is how you can redirect the output of a script file to another file. So in my case, it is output.log. Now let's see what will happen if you try to redirect the output of the script file with different positional argument to the same log file. So let's run this code again with a different file name, file3.txt. Sorry, I have to specify the output file name. So now this output.log. So now let's see the content of this output.log. So now as you can see, the first two lines are not there. Now I have only one line. This is file 3, which is the output of the last executed command. That is tutorial13.sh with the argument file3.txt. So it basically overrides the previous contents. So what if you actually want to append the output of the script? For this, you need to use double greater than operator. So let's see how to do it. So currently I have this line. This is file 3 in my output.log file. Now I want to append the outputs of file 1 and file 2 with this one. So I will run this code again with /tutorial13.sh, then with two arguments, file 1 and file 2, and I will redirect this output to the output.log, but now this time with double greater than symbol. Now let's see the content of this output.log. So now as you can see, I have the first line. This is file 3, which was generated from the previous run. And now I have two more extra lines. This is file 1 and this is file 2, which is generated from the present run. So this is how you can use redirection to append outputs to a file. Now let's look at input redirection. This is done using the less than operator. It allows the command to read input from a file. So let's see an example where we will use the content of the output.log file to redirect in the script. So in this script, the while read loop reads each line from the output.log file and prints it to the standard output. And this input redirection is done by this less than symbol. So I am redirecting the contents of this output file to the input of this while loop. So let's run this file. So now this script prints each line from this output.log file. So this is how you can use input redirection. So that's all for today. I hope this video will help you, and thanks for watching and see you in the next video.